let's learn determiners. So, what are determiners? When we say determiner, it is a word that introduces a noun and provides information about its specificity, quantity, or possession. It helps clarify which noun is being referred to, how many of them there are, or to whom they belong. In other words, determiners are like little guides for nouns, providing crucial information about them. They clarify which specific noun is being discussed, how many of those nouns exist, or who owns them. For instance, the points to a specific noun, some indicates an unspecified quantity, and might tells us who owns the noun. Determiners make our writing more precise and understandable by adding this essential context to our nouns. There are 7 types of determiner that would help you in writing properly. First, articles. It defines an article determiner as a word that comes before a noun or noun phrase, indicating whether the noun is specific or general. The definite article points to a specific noun, while the indefinite articles a and on refer to any noun from a general category. In the first example, the novel that we are studying in class has a very surprising ending. The definite article specifies a particular novel that the reader is likely familiar with. In the second example, a decision was made to postpone the event due to bad weather. The indefinite article a introduces a general decision, while the specifies a particular event. Second, a demonstrative determiner. It can be said to be those words which demonstrate as well as introduce the noun in the sentence. It defines them as words that point to specific nouns or noun phrases, indicating their location or proximity. It includes determiners such as this, that, these and those. The first example, this documentary provides a lot of interesting information about climate change. This points to a specific documentary being discussed. The second example, that experiment we conducted in the lab had some unexpected results. That refers to a specific experiment previously mentioned or understood. Third, distributive determiner. It is used to refer to members of a group individually rather than collectively. These are words that refer to individual members of a group rather than the group as a whole. Common distributive determiners include each, every, either, and neither. The examples illustrate how these words are used. First, each table in the cafeteria has a napkin dispenser on it. Each emphasizes that every single table has a dispenser. Second, you can choose either the blue shirt or the red one. Either indicates a choice between 2 individual options. Fourth, interrogative determiner. Interrogative determiners narrow down a noun's attributes by asking a direct or an indirect question. These are words that function as question words, narrowing down the attributes of a noun by asking a direct or indirect question. The interrogative determiners are whose, what, and which. The examples show how these words are used in questions. First, which of the books assigned this semester did you find the most interesting? Which asks for a specific selection from a group of books. Second, whose turn is it to present the findings of the research project today? Who seeks to identify the owner or possessor of the turn? Fifth, possessive determiner. Possessive determiners are words that show ownership or possession. It helps clarify to whom or what the noun belongs. They act like little ownership tags, letting us know who or what something belongs to. The common possessive determiners are mine, your, his, her, its, our, their, and whose. The examples showcase how these words are used in sentences. Number 1, the person whose shoes are in the rain should bring them inside. Whose clarifies that the shoes belong to a specific person. And number 2, his decision to join the soccer team was influenced by his friends. His indicates that the decision and the friends belong to the same person. Sixth, quantifying and numbers determiner. Quantifying determiners specify something about the nouns they appear in front of by grouping them together or indicating how much or how many of them there are. They include words like many, some, few, any, all, and several. Quantifying determiners are like little counters or measurers for nouns. They tell us how much or how many of something we're talking about. They help us understand the quantity or amount of a noun, whether it's a large group, a small number, or a specific amount. Think of them as giving us a sense of scale or proportion. They help us paint a picture of the noun in our minds, giving us a better understanding of its quantity. The examples demonstrate how these words are used. Number 1. Some of the athletes in the competition broke previous records. Some indicates an unspecified quantity of athletes. And number 2, if there is a fourth time, Anna's grade may be affected. The number fourth specifies a specific quantity. Lastly, relative determiners, also known as relative adjectives, specify something about nouns in noun phrases that introduce relative dependent clauses. The relative determiners are what, whatever, which, and whichever. Think of them as connectors that introduce extra information about a noun, often adding details or explanations. They help create more complex sentences by linking a main clause to a dependent clause that provides further information. The examples show how these words are used. First, please sit in whichever seat you like. The phrase whichever seat tells us more about the noun seat in the main sentence. Second, John will let us know what day they are arriving. The phrase what day gives us more information about the noun day in the main sentence. These words help us create more complex and informative sentences by adding extra details and explanations. Again, the 7 types of determiner. First, article. Articles are words that come before a noun to specify whether it is definite specific or indefinite general. Second, demonstrative. Its determiners point to specific nouns, indicating their location or proximity. Third, distributive determiner. It refers to individual members of a group, emphasizing their separate existence. Fourth, interrogative determiners. These are question words that narrow down the attributes of a noun by asking a question. Fifth, possessive determiner shows ownership or possession, indicating to whom or what a noun belongs. Sixth, quantifying determiner. It specifies the quantity or amount of a noun. Lastly, relative determiners introduce relative clauses, which provide further information about a noun in the main clause. These types of determiners are crucial for writing clear, concise, and informative essays. They add precision, clarity, and structure to your writing, making your arguments more convincing and your ideas easier to understand. For your activity, read the sentences carefully. Fill in the blanks with the missing determiner and identify which type of determiner would be most appropriate. You have 2 minutes to answer. Your timer starts now. Time's up, let's check your answers. Number 1. The evidence presented in the trial was inconclusive. This specifies the evidence discussed in the trial. This is the determiner and it is an example of an article determiner. Number 2. Some of the students in the advanced class were able to solve the complex equation. Some indicates a portion of the students, and it is a quantifying determiner. Number 3. Every time I visit my grandmother, she tells me stories about her childhood. Every emphasizes that the action happens on each visit. It is a distributive determiner. Number 4. Whose artist's work was featured in the prestigious gallery, showcasing their unique style. Whose identifies the owner of the artwork, an example of possessive determiner. Number 5. What is the best way to learn a new language? What asks for information about a general noun, an example of interrogative determiner. Number 6. These challenges we face today, particularly in the realm of technology, demand a critical and thoughtful approach. These refers to the challenges already mentioned, emphasizing their relevance, an example of demonstrative determiner. Last item, whatever issues are discussed in the article, the author emphasizes the need for global cooperation. Whatever emphasizes that the author's focus is on global cooperation, regardless of the specific issues, an example of relative determiner. Determiners are the unsung heroes of grammar, quietly shaping the clarity and precision of our writing. They add specificity, organization, and emphasis, allowing us to express ourselves with nuance and clarity. From articles that guide us through definite and indefinite nouns, to demonstratives that point to specific items, and relative determiners that add vital details, each type plays a crucial role in creating a well-structured and impactful piece of writing. Mastering the art of using determiners effectively is essential for crafting compelling and engaging essays, articles, and any form of written communication.